work in progress that I've already shipped them.
Yeah.
So last time we discussed, I had to put them in inventory and then I had to issue them.
Right.
Are we going to use your screen?
Yeah.
I've got a specific order that I just, what I'm trying to see is these ones I don't care because they've all shipped. So I'm just going to put them in inventory and then issue them just to clear up my work in progress.
Okay.
But I wondered if you could help me understand that whole process of how, if they were actually going to, if we were going to use it the way I'm hoping to, would I add them to inventory and then would I change the, remember how I wanted them to go from cutting to finish to then ship?
Yeah.
How would I do that? This is order number 5898.
Well, that's just a soft status. So 5898. I mean.
So there it is. It's in inventory.
Right. So you would change the station here.
Okay. After I add it to inventory.
Doesn't matter. You can change it before you add it to inventory, or you can change it after.
Okay. I thought I had to add it to inventory to do that.
No, this is separate. This is just tagging the order. So it's just saying where the order is in the system, because when we talked about it, you said it was it's a soft order. It's not necessarily an inventory when you move it into cutting. So I put it on the order header so you could just specify where it is in the process.
Perfect. Okay. I was confused. I thought I had to add it to inventory before I could do anything.
No, the only thing you have to do is add it to inventory before you ship it, because you can't get rid of it if it's not in inventory.
Okay. So I just changed the station.
Yeah, that's all it does. So if you go back to your list, and we look at 5898. So it shows the station. So when your guys are moving it, all they have to do is go into this screen and go into the order header and change where it's located. And then you'll know.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Can I get a report of everything that's in finish?
I'd have to create one for you, but I can do that. I mean, if you went here and, filtered by station, it's going to show you all your orders in the finish.
That's what I want.
And if you go in here, you can add the filter, and then you can print the report out. So if I add a filter here, I'll change the status station. I keep on confusing the two. Is equal to station. Oh, what am I doing? Finish.
Yep.
Save it. Looks like you're going to have to be, this is just for, that's right, this is just for CISS admin. But if I do the print view, then it'll show me everything and I can just print it.
Okay.
Okay, so it'll show you everything and give you a copy suitable for printing.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
Now the other thing I noticed when I did that, well, it's probably too late to see it. When I sent that 5898 to inventory, two of the items went to dock and one of the items went to finished goods.
It had probably already been added then. I fixed it so now when you do an order, add an order to inventory, what it does is it checks if any of those bats, it checks by serial number. If any of them already exist in inventory, it doesn't add them. So probably what happened was individual bats had been added from that order in inventory. And then when you hit add order to inventory, it just finished what was missing and put them all in finished goods.
So when you add something to inventory, what does its location turn into? Finished goods?
It's going to be, from now on, it's finished goods.
Okay. Okay. Is John with us yet? Looks like John is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you with us, Johnny? How do we talk to him, Ben? Looks like he's with us.
He's got to dial in. I mean, we can't talk to him if he's not dialed in.
Oh, so it says 3, but that doesn't mean he's not in yet.
Yeah, he hasn't dialed into the audio portion. He's just logged on to the computer.
They don't have to. I'm here. Are you?
There you are.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So John and I were talking earlier today, and when we issue bats, we were wondering, where do they go after you issue them? Where can we find them on our program?
You can find them in the audit trail, and you can find them in, they'll remain in the bat list for all times, but you can find them in the audit trail, and you can find them in the negative adjustment reports. When you issue out a bat, it's no longer in inventory, so you're not going to find it in the warehouse. All you're going to find is the trail. So, you know, there are a number of reports. Probably your best one is the audit trail. So if you go here, and you know the serial number for the bat, you can filter by serial number. It'll show you all, you know, all the movement of the bat by the serial number. So see, you have this one here, shipped out on order 5899. Okay, there's the serial number. So if I were to look for this guy in inventory, I wouldn't find him. He's already gone. He's been shipped. Understand?
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, you know, if I just do this and paste that serial number in there, if I can paste it. Paste. Okay, shows when it was received in inventory and when it was issued out. Okay.
Is there a way, Ben, is there a way that, say, like, for instance, I just entered like 70 bats that we sold at a tournament.
Yep.
And I issued them out. Is there a way to like go into a date and see what was issued out per that date?
Yeah, sure. Same thing. You just go here to the audit trail and you clear this filter. And you add a filter for the date. Let's say it's greater than November 10th. Okay, that shows you everything.
Okay.
You know, that happened from November 10th on.
Great.
Now the filters, you can add more than one filter. If you add another one, you can actually look for the serial lot number, description of the transaction. I can't remember what that, but that would probably be if you wanted to see what was issued out. Let's see where that shows description of the transaction. And you could filter by that description. Oh, what you could do then is just go back into that filter. The description of transaction says contains. Then just put the word issue in there. That shows everything that was shipped directly issued out.
Okay. And when you first went into that, Ben, I was kind of trying to get set up here and get some notes. Where are we at right now?
You're in the audit trail. You're in reports, audit trail.
Reports, audit trail. Okay.
Yeah, and the filters control what comes up in the report view. So
Gotcha.
you know you can drill into it, and once you get accustomed to what you're looking at, then you can customize these reports to pull out just exactly what you need. But everything that happens in the system gets in the audit trail. Anytime a bat moves, received or issued, it'll be in there. And you can also get to it from the item master list. If you look at today's activity, it'll show you everything you've done in the last 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
You can also filter this, of course, by warehouse. What was that, Teresa?
What, can you go back 1 second? What was that you saw what happened by the day? Is that under audit trail too?
You can filter by dates, or you can just, if you go to the item master list and look at today's activity, it'll show you everything that was happened in the last 24 hours. But it's the same report. You know, I mean, basically it's the same report. We just automatically put a 24-hour date filter on it from that link.
So that gives him everything. It even shows like the orders that I shipped. It shows that Eric came in and added some new bats to inventory.
Right, but if you look up here, it shows Shirley Mills. So if he wants to look at Chandler, all he has to do is change it to Chandler.
Okay, and then put the date for yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can just go here into filters and say date is greater than yesterday, November 9th.
Do like Friday.
Friday the 17th.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have?
Or it'd be Friday like the 12th or whatever it was.
I'm surprised we don't have warehouse in there. I guess it's because it doesn't show up in the report.
Don't go anywhere yet. The first field, what's field? That's what you're gonna search by. So we're gonna search by date, not by serial number here.
Right, we're gonna filter, not search.
Yeah, and then greater than, so in other words, any dates after the 17th. Okay.
Right. Yep.
I got you.
But we want to change that to like the 12th because there's no activity. So it must have been, yeah, try the 12th. Perfect.
Okay, and then report view. So this is everything in Chandler after the 12th.
That you issued.
Yeah, most of them are all direct issues, yeah.
So that was 40 of.
Yep. Well, 365 records.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't get. I don't know what would happen in Chandler for 365 records over the past 5 weeks.
It's everything. It's when, you know, they moved into there. It's not just issued. I mean, it's, you know, when they were created and brought in. And
I think if you show that, I issued all the ones you guys sold for the month, John. And then you came in and did the ones since I left.
Okay.
Yeah, look at Teresa's name's all over here. So, I mean, it shows you who did the
Yeah.
transaction.
Those are all the ones I did that when I left Phoenix, I took all the tags with me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Teresa.
I just want to make sure something wouldn't happen like if a bat was ordered that's showing on this.
No, orders don't show on this list. This only shows inventory movement.
Okay.
You know, order will show when it ships, but.
So Johnny,
That's
this would
what
be
I'm trying to figure out is what's the difference. So Ben, for instance, like out in the garage in Chandler here, we probably got 400 or 500 bats.
Yep.
So where would I go to see what we think is here in Chandler?
You go to the locate and move screen.
Okay.
Okay, and you can put your warehouse in here and then just do locate and move units, and it'll show you everything that we believe is in inventory in Chandler.
So this is showing there should be 1,000 bats here in Chandler.
That's what it's saying.
Yeah. Okay. So then my next question would be this. I would like to do a complete inventory of what's here so we can figure out what's not here out of that 1,000.
Yep.
Is there a way for me to go and pull a bat out of the garage, look up the tag number? When I find that tag, find the bat, I have the bat and the tag. Can I like lease that to myself or move it somewhere else to get it out of this 1,000? Because I want to do that and create a list of just what I know we have so that this report here shows what we don't know, what we don't have, where we don't know where it's at. How would I do that?
You lost me there. This report isn't going to show you what you don't have. It's only going to show you what you do have.
No, what I want to do is create a report of what I do have and then see what's left in this list. I want to.
Well, the best thing to do is just print out a cycle. If you go into reports, go into inventory, and put a cycle count by serial number.
Okay.
It's going to show you everything in Chandler and where it's located in the serial numbers.
Okay.
So you got 1,010, it says,
Right.
in inventory. So you can just print this out. You can print this out and then you just check off the tags that you find, and then what's left over, you'd have to go out and do a direct issue to get rid of them. If there are some that show up on this report but aren't actually in inventory.
Okay, say that last part once again. I can go in and mark something, did you say?
Yeah, I would take this report, dump it out. You know, basically, if you export it, you can bring it into Excel.
Okay.
Open that up. Go out into your warehouse and just cross off the serial tags that you find. You know, cross them all off, and then the ones that are left over, the system thinks they're in inventory, but they're not. They're gone.
Right. And that's where I need to get to that point. So I would export, go to this Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, delete everything that I know is in inventory and leave what's not.
Yeah, I would just cross out the one. I would cross out the ones that I find.
Okay.
And that's going to leave you a list of tags, serial numbers that don't exist in inventory. So you're going to have to go into inventory and issue them out to get rid of them. You want to be left with an accurate accounting. You can't, you know, so you're going to have to audit what's there and then get rid of what isn't there but shows up on this list. That's
exactly what I'm trying to do. I just didn't know if there was a way for me out of this 1,010 to go up, because I'm just going to go grab a random bat.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to look for it in this spreadsheet or on the system. I find it. What I was wondering if there was a way that I could, like, for instance, lease it to myself and then go through this whole bat. So if we have 500 bats here, I've leased 500 to myself. It's out of this inventory and leased to me, correct?
Well, why would you lease them to yourself?
Well, because I'm trying to find a way to get those in one place and then bring them back. Instead of excluding, I'd like to include, you know, if there's a way. But they're
already, if you find them, they're already in inventory.
Well, we don't know that for sure. That's the problem.
Well, if you have a tag in your hand and you have a bat in your hand and the tags match, I mean, it's an inventory.
I agree. I think I'm going to find some bats out there that aren't in this inventory, and I'm going to find a lot of bats on this inventory that aren't out there.
Hey, Johnny, this list that he's got here for you, you should be able to do by either serial number. So, right, Ben, can you do this chronologically, or right now he's got it by bat number, bat model?
Right.
So just go in here and take off any KB17s that you do have, mark them off, and then what's left, we know we got to go in and do an issue.
Okay. So you're telling me to go in here and delete one. All right. I have a bat in my hand right now. Can we see if we can find it?
Okay.
It's a RC24.
Well, what's the serial number?
It is A00000044. 5 zeros 444.
Dash 1 2 3 4 5 zeros 4 4.
One more 4.
There it is, right there.
Okay, now what would you have me do? Just delete that line?
Deleting the line is just taking it out of the report. So, I mean, it depends what your goal here is. If your goal is just to have tags in this report that don't exist in your inventory, yeah, then delete it from the line. I mean, what I'd do is just mark it because I found it. I'd color it or do something like that. Okay. And then when you're done, you know, if anything that's not marked or colored, you know you got to get rid of it because Inventory Pro thinks it's an inventory and it's not.
Absolutely, that works. That's what I was looking for, someone like that. So I'll just highlight all the bats I find.
Yeah, and then just save it, you know, as you find it, or just, you know, put a check. You know, all you got to do is if you're walking around and you're in the warehouse or in, you know, in your offices, just put a check next to the serial number. It's the same thing. And then when you come back, you take a look at this list and say, okay, well, I know I got to get rid of this guy. So you get rid of them. You go into the direct issue screen, you look up the serial number, you know, you put it in the direct issue screen. What you do, like if I wanted to get rid of this guy, I'm not gonna, I'll just show you what I mean. But if I want to get rid of this guy, S318. You can, I don't think I showed Teresa this, but there is issue stock. If you go in here, scanner quick issue, all you gotta do is put the serial number in here and save it, and you can issue it out. So all those tags that you lined up with that don't have bats in inventory, just put the serial number in here and then do a save and issue it out.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, Teresa, I was thinking about, when you asked about the trade shows and leasing, I don't think you want to do that. I think you want to stay away from it because there's just too many processes. You gotta lease them out, then you gotta issue them out, then you gotta receive product back in. I think what you want to do is either just use this screen where you just, when they come back, what tags they took, when they sell the bat, just retain the tag and then just issue them out directly out of the system when they come back from the show.
So how do I have a record of what they took with them?
Well, that's a good question.
Because that's what I need. That Excel spreadsheet would be one way of doing it. But how do I make an Excel spreadsheet if I don't issue them out?
Well, you can't, if you issue them out, they're gone.
Well, no, she means not issue out, she means lease them.
Lease.
Let me give it some thought.
Okay.
I think it's kind of cumbersome doing it that way. That's all. Because then if you lease it out, and then they bring it back, then you got to receive back. You got to bring back in what they didn't sell. Then you got to do a direct issue out of what they did sell.
Right.
Yeah, if there's an easier way to do that, we'd love it, but we have to figure out a way to do that. If we have 500 bats here and somebody's going to take 120 of them for 3 days and then come back, we got to be able to say, all right, here's your 120 you took. What do you bring them back? And that means whatever sold is what you didn't bring back.
Right.
But we have to be able to report that somehow.
Yeah, I mean, you may end up doing just that, having to do the lease. But I was just thinking,
Yeah.
Maybe let me give it some thought.
Yeah, we're open. If you have quicker, better ideas that are less time consuming, we're open, but we definitely have to track that somehow.
I understand. Anyway, so you have different. You can issue out based upon the serial number. The default screen is just item ID and serial number, basically, and then you can do a load all and it'll look up the serial number, fill in the missing blanks for you, and then you can just issue them out.
Okay.
Earlier today we were talking about. You already gave him the report. Okay.
We're talking about what?
I was just talking about that report that he had wanted, and you just gave it at 1,000. Yeah. Do you have anything else, Johnny?
I think that will get me through what I need to get through in the next couple of days. I did listen to your guys' session from last week or whenever it was.
Uh-huh.
And there was some discussion about, and I don't understand it fully since I haven't been involved from the beginning. There was some discussion about the serial number, all D's instead of an A and a P now.
Right.
So as I understand that, every bat's going to say Maple P for pro, Maple A for amateur, Birch A, Birch P. Is that what it was, Teresa? Or Ben, either one?
Yeah, we put the designation after the model.
Okay.
Yeah.
We both, John and I, we did all the issue of bats that we know have sold, but both of us ended up with a large amount of tags that we can't find anywhere in the issue screen. How would you go to look for it? If I've got a tag here that has a serial number on it and I know it was printed, how can I find out if it's still somewhere in this system? We couldn't find it on the issue screen.
You have to go to locate and move. I mean, locate and move shows everything in inventory. So, I mean, if you have a serial number, you can just change the warehouse to not selected. Put in the serial number here. Like, let me just go to.
What I've got one here for you. It's got a whole bunch of zeros and then 1022.
Well, I would just do a 1022. That
Right.
way, you know, if it went in as an A or a P or a D, it'll find it. So it's not in inventory.
What does that mean? Because I've got a tag here. I made this tag. Where could it have gone?
If it was already issued out, would it be gone?
It won't be in inventory, yeah. So again, if you go to the audit trail, let's go to the audit trail. And if I go to the filters, I'm going to change this to serial lot contains, what was that, 1022?
Yep.
Shows it being received under this guy.
Yep, that's it. Where is it?
I don't know.
It's been issued out by somebody at some point, right? Or no?
What does that mean, what you have there?
It shows it being received by Laurel on the 27th.
Received in Chandler?
I doubt it. No, I doubt it was probably received into Shirley.
Okay. So it's in. I guess I don't understand what received means. Received where? In inventory somewhere?
Received means it's brought into inventory. When you add a bat to inventory, it gets received.
Okay. Now how come I can't find it when I go to
It is right
issue it
there.
from it?
It's in the Chandler warehouse. I just found it.
How come when I went to issue it, I couldn't find it?
You were probably in Shirley. You can't issue out of Chandler if you're in Shirley. If I go into inventory,
That's what I had, was all warehouses. I was not in Chandler, I was in all warehouses.
you can't use the issue screen unless you're in a warehouse. You have to choose your warehouse to issue out of.
Okay, well, this is what I'm going to tell you, Ben. I issued 400 tags out of inventory, and out of those 400 tags, I got 20 of them sitting here that the numbers wouldn't call up. How come that one, if it worked for the other 375, this one wouldn't come up if I had all warehouses? Based on what you just found when you did that little audit trail. Because I'd be going along. I spent hours issuing these tags out, and I'd be going along, and I'd find all of them, and then all of a sudden there'd be one that just for whatever reason wouldn't come up by the model number, it wouldn't come up by the serial number, and this is one of them that you just found in the audit trail. What makes it unique from all the rest of them?
All I can say, you were probably in the Shirley warehouse or the Chandler warehouse when you were issuing them. If I go DT71 here, which one was it? DT71 money, right?
Yep.
There it is, right there. So you have to be cognizant of where you're working here, okay? That's why we have the warehouses on the bottom and the top to show you which warehouse you're in. I mean, this whole issue grid is dependent upon working in a particular. What?
I said it's a good thing we're talking and not visual.
Why?
I did hours of these. It's not like I was stupid and didn't know what I was doing. And I've got 20 tags I couldn't get to come up when all the rest of them did.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, Teresa. I mean, I wasn't there. It's hard to know what was going on. But I mean, when I went into Chandler and I looked for it, you know, I found it.
Well, Teresa, where were you doing it from?
Right here, the screen you're looking at, only I had all warehouses. And I would try it under DT71. I would try it under DT71 money. I would try it under serial number. I mean, I got pretty familiar with this screen after issuing 400 bats.
I know, but look, I just changed to all warehouses. I can't even use the lookups. You can't do anything in this grid until you choose a warehouse.
All right, then I would have chose Chandler because that's where I thought they were.
Inventory, issue stock. You were choosing.
Johnny, why don't you get?
That's how you told me.
Do you have any of them, Johnny, that you couldn't find when you were doing the same thing?
I do, about 20 some.
Why don't we pull up one of yours and see if it is a similar thing that just mysteriously appears?
But are we in the same spot? Are we in inventory, and then we issue stock, and then warehouse handler, type in model? Is that where we're at? Or does it just look like it?
That's where we are.
Ben?
What?
Is that where we are? Are we, if you go to inventory, click on inventory,
Yeah.
and then we clicked on issue stock, is that the next move we made, or are we in some other screen than that right now?
No, we're on the issue screen. It says right here, inventory issue. Right up top.
Okay, inventory issue, okay. So one of the ones I couldn't find was an MM8, or the model, or the serial is 1408 is the last four.
Which one? MMA? Just plain
Just
old MMA?
Yeah, just MMA. And
What was the serial number?
1408.
I don't know if this will filter it. 1408, or you have to put the whole one in, but let me try it. No, it doesn't see anything in there, so let's do
Sometimes
this.
it does. I'll tell you right now, sometimes it doesn't filter it, but if you go in and scan that list, when you do MM8, you'll find it in there. So where did you just go now? Locate move? Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a locate move on the serial number. No, it doesn't find it. So let's go to the audit trail. $14.08, right?
Yeah.
It was issued out on the 28th.
Issue received.
You know what? I bet some of these was
You
when
might
we
want to just go to the audit trail and search for these first before you do anything.
Right. No, because it looks like that probably was issued out and just not put in that pile.
It was issued out.
Right.
probably maybe on the 28th, we didn't know what to do when we were shipping bats, and she just issued them out.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. She was issuing out bats instead of moving them to Chandler somehow.
Well, the problem is that, you know, Billy went in and created orders. Okay, so there's no way, you know, if you're going to ship that order, you're going to issue it out. It doesn't move it from, you know, Shirley to Chandler. It issues it out of stock as if it's, you know, a completed order.
Johnny, any of those
When Billy's placing orders, some of them are made to go directly to a person that he's selling it to.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the ones he put in are just coming here for inventory. So there's no customer designation that's not been sold yet. So we're issuing out bats that haven't been sold.
see the order number on there? 5329. I'm finding half of the ones in my stack have that order number 5329. That was the order Billy placed, and so therefore she had to get it out of inventory, she thought. So when it got ready to ship, she issued it, just like she would a regular order.
Right, so Ben, is there a better way to do that? If we have bats that Bill's gonna put orders in, he's gonna go in and do two things. He's gonna order for Tommy Smith, he's gonna order 1 bat for him or 6 bats. but he's also gonna go in when he needs inventory, I think. Is that correct? When you want inventory, he goes in and creates that. That's inventory, but it's not sold yet. So how do we designate Bill's entries from inventory and sold? Is there a way to do it?
You know, the WooCommerce interface was designed to bring orders, customer orders into the system, manufacture them in Shirley, and then, you know, they could transfer them to Chandler if necessary.
Okay.
Using it the way Billy used it kind of circumvented the process, okay? Basically, he's creating orders that he wants in inventory, but he's doing them in WooCommerce. And, you know, basically, WooCommerce, our interface doesn't know an inventory order from a customer order, so it treats it as a customer order. I've been playing with something. I'm hesitant to turn it over right now, but I'm going to show it to you, Teresa. What I did, because I knew this was happening, in the test system, I created an order type of transfer inventory to Chandler. Okay? So if you save an order as transfer inventory to Chandler, add the inventory to the order, then issue it out, it will actually move inventory into the Chandler warehouse. It won't ship it out.
Take a step back. When you say if you save an order, oh, so if Billy places an order on WooCommerce and I bring it over here, that's one of the, what else do you have under those order types? Quote and something else also?
Just a basic order and quote, okay? If you mark it as transfer inventory to Chandler, and you have to do it before you add the inventory to, add the order to inventory. This has to be assigned first, okay? And then you add the order to inventory and you finish the issue like you finish a regular shipping order. This will move the inventory directly into the Chandler warehouse instead of shipping it out.
When I issue it, it's going to go to Chandler.
It's going to be a move in the system. It's not going to be an issue.
Billy, Johnny, that solves what you were saying earlier, how it sounded really cumbersome to issue bats to Chandler, and then when you get the pallet, you have to receive them. We wouldn't have to do that anymore, right, Dan?
This does it all in one click. There's a system setting, the way I got it set up. I got to do a little bit more testing, but then I'll put it in for you. But there's a system setting, use direct warehouse transits. With this checked off and that order type selected, it's going to basically, you know, you go through the process the same way you do with a customer's order, where you mark it professional or amateur. Then you also, in the case of the Chandler bats that are coming in through WooCommerce, you also take one more step and you mark it as transfer to Chandler inventory. And then you add the bat to inventory. And when you finish that shipping order, it's going to move the inventory to Chandler. It's not going to ship it out.
That's awesome.
So when we issue out, is that what we're calling it? Issue stock or whatever? Then did you say she'd have to issue it somewhere in there?
Nope.
You don't issue the bat at this point?
Do we ever issue it?
Yeah.
Ben?
Well, it depends what they do with it in Chandler. I mean, it'd be in the Chandler warehouse, and you know they'd issue it out at some point.
So when it's sold, we issue it out.
But I mean, it's a way of I get it. So you have a way of transferring inventory that you're making in Shirley that's coming in on WooCommerce orders, which are, you know, I wasn't anticipating that Billy's going to be creating, you know, inventory orders through WooCommerce. I thought it was just for customers. But, you know, this gives you the opportunity to tag one if he creates it. If you want that inventory shipped to Chandler, then you just tag it the way I showed you and finish the issue, and it will move it to Chandler. It won't issue anything out. It'll just move the stock, the bats, to the Chandler inventory.
And then Billy, John, when Billy sells it, You'll issue it and it'll get out of inventory.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't have to receive it now. I have that
No.
extra step.
Is there a different way, Ben, that Bill should be placing orders instead of WooCommerce?
Not anymore.
Now that we have this figured out, there's no need for it, right?
Right. Right then?
Teresa just has to mark it as a Chandler order in that first screen I showed you.
Okay.
I mean, if you go in here and, Billy's got an order in there and it comes up and she sees his name in here, she calls him and says, is this a transfer or is this a customer order? And he
Right.
says it's a transfer, then you just mark the style, transfer to Chandler, save it, then add the order to inventory and then finish it.
Yep.
And it'll go out just like a regular shipping order, but it moves the stock to Chandler. It doesn't issue it out.
Gotcha.
So I have to know this before I add it to inventory.
You have to know
Before
it
it's
before
cut.
you finish. You really have to know it before you finish the order. Because
Right.
if you leave it marked as an order, it's going to issue that bat out. It's going to be gone, like it was sold and shipped out to a customer.
But I don't have to add it to inventory until I'm ready to ship it. So that's perfect.
Right, right. But this has to be marked before you quit, before you actually ship it out. This has got to be selected.
Okay.
It's got to be selected and saved. Okay?
Yep.
Okay, I might be able to get that in tomorrow. There's another build I got to merge into your build, so I'll try to get that up for you tomorrow.
Is it a long conversation to go from, just since I'm kind of coming into it at this point, when an order comes in from WooCommerce, is it long to walk it through of what Teresa does at this point and then where we end up? Like what location does it go to? It's not a BAT yet, so where is it at?
Well, we've just went through this. It goes from station to station, and I showed Teresa how to change it. So it comes in as a work in process, then she moves it to cutting, and then she puts it to finish. And when she's ready, when the order is ready
So work in process is an order that we have not started to make yet.
it's all on paper at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when the order is finished and it's ready to go out the door, she then adds it to inventory, and she finishes the order, and it ships.
Okay.
Okay? And when she adds the order to inventory, it gets put in the finished goods location in the warehouse, in the Shirley location.
But what if it's going to Chandler? Then this is what you're talking about, what you're going to do now with this transfer inventory to Chandler?
If it goes to Chandler, then she has to come in here and say, okay, well, this is transfer inventory to Chandler, save it, then finish the order, and it will ship to Chandler behind the scenes. All the bats will move to Chandler.
Okay, and then from there, where do we go to Chandler to find that bat? We just go to inventory?
Yeah.
Or do we go to locate find?
Yeah. Locate, move.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm sorry I left you guys for a minute. I apologize.
It's all right. We got figured out what I needed to there.
That's a really nice feature, though, that transfer to Chandler, Ben. Thank you.
You're
No,
welcome.
it's huge. It's huge.
There was something when you and I talked last time that wasn't working right, and you were going to work on it. I don't remember what it was.
I was leasing. I haven't had a chance to work on it yet.
Okay, that's okay. All right, well, we have a tournament, I think, not this weekend, but next weekend, right, Johnny?
Yep,
That is tournament, it'll be December 1st.
correct.
He doesn't have one Thanksgiving weekend, right?
Not that he knows of yet.
Okay, that'd be a good time if we can get this inventory
Yeah.
accurate. That would be great.
Yep, absolutely, it would be huge.
Okay.
Okay?
Your
Yep,
time has been
that's
awesome. Thank you.
Okay, well, I recorded this, so I'll have Ben drop it off on the YouTube site for you.
All right,
Okay.
thanks, Beth.
Okay?
Thank you.
I'll try to
Great.
get that in tomorrow, that change in tomorrow.
Okay, thanks. Hey, have a good Thanksgiving if we don't talk to you before then.
Okay, you too.
Bye now.